Welcome back. Joining us now is Larisa Cortes, an educator for more than 20 years and the school's principal, and Lucy Chartier, a founding board member for the school. Welcome to both of you. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for taking time. I'm a big fan of education, I really am, and especially charter schools, because I think it's a great place to create new ideas that hopefully will work. Waldorf education. You're the principal. Yes. I'm a little nervous because I haven't had a good experience with principals in my past. Right? But what is the Waldorf system? Why is that different than what's being taught now in, let's say, our traditional public schools?
That's a great question. So Rudolf Steiner, the one who founded Waldorf education, said that it was really important to educate the whole human being, not just the head, which is what we're seeing right now in most of the public education that we see. It has to be hands, head, and heart. So with the hands, that means you need to use your limbs, your body. You need to be able to educate your body so that you can serve, so that you can do something good in the world, and you can make the world better. But in order to do that, you need to have a heart. You have to be able to have an appreciation of art and the social and emotional learning that we're seeing right now happening a little bit more in schools. That's very important. So we have a lot of playtime where children can work out these types of things. And then the head can be integrated with that because it has a lot better connections with everything. When you have the opportunity to move or to do things or to paint or to draw or dance or sing. So you integrate all of these things, hands, head, and heart. And that is what helps to make the whole human being, because we're not just our heads, we are our whole self.
Well, clearly that's true. Does it help to give the kids the skills and the knowledge necessary? I mean, for instance, running and playing on the playground, for instance. Does that help the brain in a certain way that helps open them up to maybe math or the arts the same way? You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
Can you answer that for me?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that the neuroscience really supports that. I don't think that that's being questioned at this point. We know that a lot of learning is going on during play. So if we agree that play is the work of childhood, we let the child have an extended childhood in the Waldorf way of doing things. It goes beyond age 3 or age 4. We're not teaching them academics in kindergarten. We're allowing them to play, but in that play model, a lot of learning is going on, right? The basics for everything that they're going to do later.
Yeah,
now,
right.
you have a background in that your kids were part of this. They had this as their principal education as they were growing up.
That's right.
How did it work for them?
Well, they're two very strong and successful adult women now. One of them involved in this school in that her daughters, my grandchildren, are attending the preschool. They're very young. But yeah, I learned about this work when I was in one of my graduate programs and decided I wanted to be a part of something. I was in the northern part of Michigan, Oakland County, and there was not a Waldorf school there, although there were 2 anchor older private schools in the area. So we started a private school, and through that experience and the development that I saw in those children, I wanted to continue that through the course of their life. So they started in a home nursery, a home preschool taught by a Waldorf teacher, and we went ahead as they got older and launched the school. I wanted to return to the South as my children grew, so we came here to join the Emerson Waldorf School. So committed were we to this program. So then when the grandchildren came along, we wanted to participate in the start of something really special that was available to all children. The diversity that was mentioned earlier is very important, and so I came on board with the early founders to help bring this about, and we're very, very pleased with what we're seeing in these first 2 months of this school. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Now, you're the principal. You got 20 years of experience.
Right.
It's the first time teaching this type of...
For me,
All right,
yes.
so maybe you could, from a personal standpoint, point some of the obvious differences that you've experienced as a teacher, for instance. Not so much as what the kid, but as what the teachers do versus what you have had to do in the past.
Of course. So to begin with, I started on this journey last year with my daughter because we had found that in public school she was getting a lot of testing in second grade, and she was coming home anxious and feeling really upset. Even though she had been doing well academically, she just felt very nervous and anxious. So we also decided to put her into Emerson Waldorf, and at the same time I was looking for a position as an administrator, and I started doing some research and found out about this school, and that's how I ended up applying and becoming the principal. But then what I've noticed is the teachers that are in our school are happy at the end of the day. They're calm, they're relaxed. I see the children very much, they're tired at the end of the day. But I'm hearing from parents, and they're saying, my child is now happy to go to school and joyful. And I think the reason is,
Are your teachers happy at your school and not so happy at other schools? I hear this, I see it in the news.
Exactly. I think what I experienced as an educator is the testing that is required more and more by public schools is draining on teachers. They recognize that it's not good for the children to have that sort of focus on just testing and getting that number to, that's your be all and end all. And I began to realize, we have to look at the whole child. We cannot say that this is going to determine your whole future. There are many children, very, very famous failures who dropped out of school and then went on to do excellently later on. So we need to encourage that feeling of, you are an important human being. You are special and important to the world. You have something to give. And so all of the teachers at the school have that feeling, both about themselves and about their work and about the children that are in front of them. And I think, although we do test, we do have the beginning of year for grade 3 and end of grade for 3 through 8 eventually. And we do have some of the state mandated things that we have to do. We are not asked to do quite as much in a charter setting as we would be in a traditional public school. And I think that helps quite a bit to realize.
It's nice to have happy kids and happy teachers.
Absolutely.
Last question for you is, as far as the accreditation, as you know, maybe that's an inappropriate term, North Carolina has its standard.
Yes.
Boom. How does this fit in? Does it meet it, exceed it?
Right. We're in the first year, and of course we're going to have to find out through our data, but we do use the multiple tiered system of support in order to help children reach those standards. So, for example, if we have a North Carolina standard on language arts, we look at all of the kindergartners and first graders and so on, and we say, okay, how is the Waldorf curriculum meeting those standards? And it may be taught implicitly rather than explicitly. In other words, you may not be standing up there saying this is the letter A, but the children might be playing and listening to really rich literature and poetry in kindergarten, and they might be learning about the letters in first grade through stories and through fairy tales. And they're getting those standards, but they're getting in a much more meaningful and connected way with art, with literature, with poetry. So they're developing those higher order thinking skills, which are so much pushed in the public schools, before they even get to learning the sound symbol relationship, with A sounds like ah. And then they begin to love reading, which is the whole goal.
Yeah. That is wonderful.
Yeah,
there are opportunities for you out there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Don't go away. We'll be back. In fact, we're going to talk to a teacher. We'll find out, is she really happy? No, we'll be back in a couple of minutes.